today's been interesting. We went into Alicante to have a look around there for a bit. There's some boats and stuff. There's a massive, big pirate ship, which is actually a restaurant, but that was quite nice to look at. That was massive. I got this key ring. This isn't an ordinary key ring though. Just have a look at that. Let's have a look on the back. It's from a restaurant, and there is a story behind it. We were eating at a restaurant. It was a very nice restaurant. I had like a beef steak thing, steak and chips, proper Spanish meal, and we were just having a nice time, having some drinks, having fun basically. And then suddenly this guy was lingering around a bit, and he went in the bar bit, and then he came back out, and then he walked off. And my mum turned around, I'd look at a chair, and her bag was gone. So I looked at the guy and I saw him and went, "He's nicked it." And I got out of my chair and ran towards him. And I didn't stop, I kept on running, and my dad started running as well. And we were both sprinting to try and get this guy, and I saw him, and his flip-flops came off. And I just kept running, I grabbed his flip-flops and then kept running after him. And I was like, "Oi, you!" shouting really loudly. Me and my dad were both shouting, telling him to stop. And the guy, I didn't even realise, but the guy had dropped my mum's handbag on the floor, and my dad had picked it up, and I kept running after it, and I didn't realise. My dad said, "Tom, be careful." And I kept on running, and then eventually I was like, "Oh no, it's alright." And my dad carried on, and I went back to the restaurant, and my brother had just caught up at that point. And so I went back to the restaurant, and my dad had carried on to try and find him, and basically what had happened, my dad, the guy went one way, and my dad cut him up and went the other way, and we're in loads of little alleys. My dad cut him up and went the other way, and he saw him walking across the traffic lights, and my dad walked over to him, grabbed him, smack around the face, yeah, got him, and trying to get him in a headlock, but this guy, he'd taken his top off and he was changing his clothes to try and not be recognised. This guy managed to slip away, and my dad and another stranger, just some guy, were running towards him, and this guy was getting the police to come over, and there was starting to have police coming over, and eventually my dad had to leave it. He had the bag, and he came back to the restaurant, and he was a hero. And then the guy from the restaurant, he was like saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Spanish people aren't normally like that. It happens quite a lot apparently. They get quite a lot of muggers, and he doesn't want a bad name, so he gave us, me and my brother, these little key rings, and then he even gave my dad a t-shirt. He was a really nice bloke, and it was a really nice restaurant. Anyway, that's my story for today, so there you go.